So I've relaxed for a little bit, took a little wander around, decided to come back and play with my quote-unquote spot, and as you can see, I've dug back a little further from the fire pit, because almost right at the leaf line here, just a little bit further back here, is where I had the chair last week, and it was too close to the fire pit for my liking, especially if you've got a real raging fire going. That is roughly south facing, so any wind later on in the season is going to come right through there, right across the fire pit, and blow smoke right into my face. So putting the chair there, it's just over 3 feet from the fire, the front of the chair. It's not completely level, as you can see. It does tilt this way just slightly, but it also tilts forward a bit. So when I'm sitting down, I'm not sitting at an angle backwards, and because it's a pain in the ass to get out of the seat when you're leaning back. So I've got it forward facing just a little bit, and it's in a good spot. If I need to get closer to the fire, you just pull the chair forward. So I've got one spot done for the fire. Now the other spot is right in here. It's not very big, and in order to make it bigger, you either come this way and pull everything back from right in where all these branches are, but as you can tell, well, might be able to tell, it does this a fair amount. It does this, it levels off a little bit right in here, and then it drops slightly again. Right in front of my tent, right here, it's not too bad. Right over here, it's not too bad. It still slopes this way a little bit, but it's not too bad. But you're a fair distance from the fire. You're 6 or 7 feet from the fire there, which you don't want. So it's either digging out here and pulling it back, or digging in here and coming back. It would probably be easier to dig in here, similar to what I've done, and come back this way. And with a bit of work, Vince, this would give a decent secondary seating just like mine. And you would come back roughly, right about here or so for the chairs. You want to be roughly, the back of the chair, you want to be roughly 6.5 feet or so away from the fire, and then you can come forward or come back how you see fit. But you need to cut into the terrain right here, the same as what I have done. You can see it comes down 6 or 8 inches. It gets deeper as you go back a little further. It's not massive, it's about 6 inches or so, but it's enough to do what needs to be done, and it holds up. Well, it held up for a week anyways, but there was no rain or anything. So what needs to be done, and right now I'm standing, there's my tent, so I'm standing right at the door of my tent, and the fire pit is 8 feet away, 8.5 feet away. It's not too bad. This isn't meant for huge, large fires anyways, so, and I don't think I would want to go very big here because the canopy is fairly dense. It's high up, and there is a tree right there, but if you keep it low, I've got Amber and I last weekend found a couple of big flat stones that we put underneath here, like similar we did to the other camping site. It's Labor Day weekend, so it helps a lot. So the only thing, because it's a 210 bingo, is right in here, needs to be dug out for another chair, and then that'll do her. And then what I'll do is sometime this year or next year, if I can get a saw or an axe, cut up that tree for a third tent, or invest in a hammock. And I'm thinking I'm wanting to go that route and invest in a hammock, and we'd have to come up with another spot, and the only other spot would be right in there, but that's a lot of digging. But with 3 people doing it, we could get it done, and it would look fairly nice. We'd have a decent area to keep coming back to, because I like this spot. Just down there is my water source. I've done another check here. Yeah, I wouldn't take directly from that. You can, you're filtering it, but I still wouldn't take it. I'd rather take it from the river. So far I've done a couple or 3 from the river, and you still get that taste like you get with all water. But I'm not dead, so it's hot. I have my shirt off. I'm contemplating on actually staying or not. It's so hot. It's not even 2 o'clock yet, so the temperature, I don't know what the temperature is. It's got to be pushing 29, 30 degrees right now with extra humidity. And I've had a beer, and I've gone through about half my Nalgene of water, but other than that, I don't know. I want to cook something, so if I do decide to leave, I'll cook something up fairly soon and then leave before it gets dark, or stick it out and stay the night. I haven't decided yet. It's hot. Next weekend would be better, pending rain. They're not calling for rain right now, but it is supposed to get to a high down to seasonal, 16, 17 degrees through the day and down to 4 degrees overnight, which is what I want. It'll get rid of all these flies. It's not the mosquitoes that's the issue now. There's these flies. They're not horse flies. They're not deer flies. They're just regular flies, but they're annoying as hell. There's not a huge number of them, but they keep showing up and they keep wanting to land on me. So it's not the end of the world. It's not like May. I'm rambling on, so I'm going to cut this short. So just to recap, that's what I've done. My chair's there. That's where I'm going to sit now. I'm going to bring my cooler over. If I can get it right beside it right there, I'll move my chair over. I'll get rid of the logs there. Move my chair over a little bit. I may grab one of these things here, one of these here, and put on that tree right there as an extra, for lack of a better term, for an extra table. And then go from there, sort of thing. But I'm going to move my cooler over. I'm going to sit down and I'm going to relax for a little bit more because I'm hot. I might go down and cool off in the river as well. Take my shoes off and go in and cool off, and then sit down and relax for a while. So there you go. That's what we've got. Now I'm going to take a, yeah,